Ooh, Sam. Hi, Sam. Madeline, Mark, Jeremy. I want to see some faces. I don't want to see. Oh, there we go. Hello, Mark. I see a face. Who else is going to show their face? Let's see. Come on. I need some engagement here. Oh, I see Jeremy. Jeremy's on the line. Too bad it wasn't later. We could have happy hour. Maybe next time we will. Tony, Chris. We could open up the unmute so everybody can say hello. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Samantha. Madeline, Hetty. It's been way too long. Tom Walsh, I haven't seen and talked to you forever. Show me your face. I'm Zoom face shaming now. Ginger, Holly, Nina. Oh, we got a good audience. We're gonna wait another 30 seconds or so for a couple more people to join. How's everybody's Thursday going? Good?
Good.
Good. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Oh,
Thank you.
happy birthday. What is today your birthday, your actual birthday?
Yeah, I've been actually working out all day, trying to make myself miserable, just to remind myself 43 is not the end.
Oh my gosh. Guess how old I'm going to be on August 29th?
29?
60. You're 15.
Holy
I
mackerel.
was doing marathons at 43.
We never would have known.
Thank you. That's how much I love you, Chris Ramondi. Okay, Marissa's in the house too. This is exciting. Tom, I see your face. How are you?
Good, I'm doing great.
We got to do this every quarter. I'd like to do it every month, actually. It'd be kind of fun. Reminds me of the COVID happy hours. Who had those?
Oh, yeah.
I kind of don't miss those, but I kind of do, I guess. All right. So the purpose of this meeting. Hello, Jennifer. Hello. Oh, my goodness.
Hello.
Steve's here. Eddie's here. We're going to get started. We just wanted to touch base. This is the first quarterly call for green plants. We might make them monthly. Who knows? So we're going to start off by, reiterating to what we've been doing at Green Plants. We're going to start with that. We're going to go over and review the quick, the supporter levels. Everybody can hear me?
Yes.
And then I'm going to show you a little biophilic design presentation that Cityscapes has been working on, but we might want to talk with the board and get your input on, tweaking it a little bit, having it as the kind of a newer biophilic design CEU accredited class. So I'd love your feedback on that. Okay. So one of the great things that we've done in this last year, thank you, Jeremy Derringer from New Pro, is that we've increased our website traffic 21%, and Bastera and the new team. So we've had a lot more, traffic and industry news and research resources. We are now, we're continuing to put up research articles and studies about biophilia, biophilic design in nature. So how many people, raise your hand, goes on the website regularly to actually see these papers, repost them, get the newest? Does everybody know about it?
Yes.
Okay, so a bunch of people kind of review it and see it. Steve Foster, you check up on the, we have Mary Golden research.
And now you don't have to fill in the form every single time, which is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I said that. I was like, this has to stop because I'm going to start looking. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Ms. Dara. So we're fixing glitches. So this is another way at the end of the time is to say, give us any feedback. It's not going to hurt our feelings. We are all volunteers, just so you know. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. But feel free to join because we got lots of committees. So yeah, we want to hear not criticism, but we want to hear input. I'm like, what do you think is working? What could be improved upon? And how can we utilize Green Plants as a supporter? So we've been to several conferences. Paige went to IFMA and spoke on our behalf on biophilic design in nature and commercial spaces. I just got back from BOMA International, and it was quite exciting because we had a whole row of people from Japan that needed a translator that actually went to our class that was interested in biophilic design. So it was kind of a very, there was a lot of, there's some people from Boston. We got good ratings, over 4.5. And I was pretty excited, even though I wanted a perfect 5, but you can't be, you can't go that far, right? But we did, it went well, so it probably asked us again, and we're gonna try and get, and Nate's working on this with several other people on the education committee, is to get other speakers like Bill Browning from Terrapin Bright Green and other speakers outside of our own interior-scape industry speaking on our behalf. I just think it, it makes us more credible. Erica Weeks and I spoke. She's an architect outside of our field, but embraces biophilic design. So that was very powerful, I thought, because it's not just like, I'm there because I sell plants, right? But I'm there to really help educate and spread. There was a lot of good questions, which we answered, which was really good too. So it was a lot of engagement. So another thing, the trail, if you want to bring up the sponsorship levels, we have some new things additional to this quarterly call. Mystera is going to bring up our new sponsorship levels. And I up my game. I'm not talking the talk, I'm walking the walk. I'm a biophilic champion. Woo! So there's lots of kudos took a long time to kind of make this easier so that you're not paying for this CEU over here and this and this. It's just like you're paying a per month thing, and it just makes it easier. So one of the interesting new things is that you're gonna get if you're an enthusiast and up, you get a Biophilic Star is a consultation with a Green Plants for Green Buildings Trailblazer. So that's a one-on-one. These quarterly supporter calls are to everybody from the Biophilic advocate and up, which is really nice. Again, it's an opportunity for you all to ask questions, input. Even if somebody's on the call that you have a question, hey, Chris Mundy, I saw this post on your Instagram about this. Is it, that's cool.
It's true.
Yeah, it's all true, right? Okay.
Yeah.
One thing that I have a question to all you is the gallery projects. Did you know that you could put, if you're a star and up, that you could put several of your images from your website or wherever, your best images on the Green Plants for Green Buildings website, which gets a lot of traction, a lot of traffic from architects and designers, and that's where you want to be. So that's something to think about, those project pictures. And then obviously other, Nature in the News, everybody gets that. Unlimited slide deck, the Green Plant slide decks, free registered trainers, the enthusiasts up. And when you do the math, it actually can save you some money, and it's just more streamlined.
How do we get our photos over to them?
Jen, you want to answer that question? I think you can email admin@greenplantsforgreenbuildings.org, gpgb.org, admin@. Mystera is a rock star as well as Jen. She's been really getting up to speed quickly and making it happen, fixing glitches and making things more streamlined. Yeah, so send some new pictures. I need to send more pictures myself. Shame on me. We need to update some of ours, right? And a company spotlight. Oh, I get to do one of those. Yay. So that's a good thing. The Trailblazer program, I'm personally going to bring up at the next meeting. I think we should do a lottery on that for all supporters. Maybe once a month we draw a lottery and we get a 1-hour consultation by a Trailblazer. So one of the, you can pick a Trailblazer, anybody that's on the board, or if you see somebody else like that you'd like to talk to, I can work my magic maybe and say, hey, I want to talk to Tom Walsh. He might not be an official Trailblazer, but he is to me. So does anybody have any questions, input? We tried to make it a lot easier because it was confusing to me. We wanted to make it more streamlined and easier for people to understand the supporter levels. So currently we'd like to level up or stay the same is fine. We appreciate all the support that everybody gives. One of the things that I think a lot of people can do is to do the CEU classes. So how many people in the room do the CEU classes? Dun, dun, 2, 3. Do you need some tips, the people that don't do them?
Heck
Or
yeah.
somebody want some tips?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you some tips because I do them a lot and I've been speaking a lot. Always bring plant giveaways, okay? But don't just give them to them. You have to make them work for it. And it's a lot of, instead of the whole hour, especially some of the, economics of biophilic design, some of it can get parasympathetic, nervous systems and all that can get a little, ooh. So you take a break every 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, and you raffle off a plant, but you ask a plant question. So you can even pop that on the PowerPoint if you want, or you're just like, you can pick up a plant and say, okay, what plant is this? And then people guess what it is and they hack the name and you all laugh at them. So you've got to take those constant breaks, I think, in doing these presentations, because don't forget, we're one of the fun ones, right? We are one of the fun presentations. They're doing HVAC ones and they're so boring. Ours is fun, so make it even more fun. Always do a good lunch. Don't ever give them a crappy lunch, never, because they are going to rate you on how good that food is. Okay. So if you're going to do it and it's a good architect, if it's just a little, but do a good lunch, be prepared, get there early. I took a speaking class a long time ago from Patricia Fripp. Okay. I did this at Cultivate recently. People come in the room, don't stand back by the computer. And, when people are entering the room, hi, I'm Jan. What's your name? Where are you from? Whenever you're speaking, if you're going to feel more comfortable, work in the room, walk around the room. Oh, I see that. Oh, we're going to be giving away plants. So you better brush up on your plant knowledge. So does anybody else have any tips? I did this at I was teaching some people how to do the green plant CEUs, and they had a bunch of great tips that we were talking about. Chris Monday, I think you gave a couple, didn't you? Because you did quite a few. So giving away plants, good lunch, interacting with the crowd before, introducing yourself. So it's like your personal.
Speaking to the individual rather than just working off that script. You can get first started off with eye contact, and then you can ask specific questions and engage that audience, whatever you can do. So that what Jan is talking about with the give away the plant, that's engaging the audience. It's just a different way to do it. Telling stories and sidebarring. You still have to stay within your 1 hour or 50 minutes of speech, but there's other ways to engage the audience. Like, how come Tony, why are you sitting sideways, Tony? Am I boring?
Yeah.
Little things like that brings people back into the room.
Oh, are you yawning? Oh my gosh, I've never had anybody yawn at my presentations. Yeah. No, you don't want to call people out too hard. You have to be careful.
No, you got to know your audience. But there
Yeah.
might be somebody who comes in that you might know or have something in common. It's not as hard as you think. Once you do it once or twice, it becomes easier and easier.
Yeah.
Not the calling them out, the program.
So Mark, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I agree with, agree that it really helps to engage them so that you're not just speaking to them the whole time. And sometimes like the Mossart presentation, my operations manager did a huge one in his office at home. And I mentioned it, he steps out and shows them a picture of it, things like that. So, and it was very impressive what he did. And so just engaging them like that really makes a difference.
So what helps me once in a while, because sometimes you're on your own, right? You're trying to, bring somebody with you. Bring a design executive, a salesperson, anybody from your office, a horticulturalist. Hey, we're going to have what about that? What if you had one of your head horticulturalists come and we're going to do a plant Q&A? Like, if you prep people beforehand, bring a picture of your dying plant and we will, we will help you. People love that and they'll bring up their phones, they'll show it to you. And, so we're the plant experts, supposedly, right? So if you don't feel comfortable answering yourself, maybe you do bring your head horticulturalist or one of your technicians, one of your horticulturalists, and have them. And they'll get to see too. When's the last time anybody, and I've just done half my staff, I have to do the other half, done a presentation on biophilic design within your company?
Great place.
They don't even know what biophilia is, and I'm the biggest biophiliac ever. I'm like, so I went to Cultivate, and there was a big company there that does CEUs all the time. They're amazing. Everybody knows they know biophilic design. And there's a table of the horticulturalist or in their staff. I was like, do you know what biophilia is? And they're like, not really. Biophilic design, not really. I was like, oh, I'm going to teach you. But we are the worst at teaching our own employees. Am I right? Am I right? Shane Puska shamed me one time. A long time ago, I was like, Jan, you love to teach the whole industry except your own staff. I'm like, ouch. But it's true. And we're so busy helping other people that, we need to create all biophiliacs within our own staffing. You know what I mean? It's like our own team needs to be well versed on it. I have an idea this is just a little quick Jan idea that we're starting this month. All right. Who has problems with customer service? Not customer service, but introverted horticulturalists. It's not a problem. It's just sometimes they're shy, right? They're not like, hi, I'm Jan. I'm your plant lady, right? So thought of a great idea. Are you ready for it? Here it comes. Every month, we're going to give a little plant to each horticulturalist in a bag. It doesn't have to be every month, right? And they have to give it to one of their favorite clients. They have to engage. The client feels special. I feel like because of all the GPS and all that stuff, they don't get client signatures. They don't interact as much. I just feel like there is such a disconnect. Can you imagine how that client's going to feel when they get, oh my gosh, honey, I came home and my plant lady or plant guy gave me a plant. Who's going to try that? I know Nate's going to try it. He drinks the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about engagement when we, all we did was Zoom, and we have we do have shyer. We have a younger generation that sometimes has, it's social anxiety sometimes. I mean, now that I'm an, old 60-year-old coming, does anybody else have any tips on engagement and because again, I think just doing a company meeting about biophilia and biophilic design, use one of the presentations from Green Plants.
I have an idea. One of the problems that we had is that we'd send out a CEU invite to one of the, like Gensler. We send it out to the librarian at Gensler, and she wouldn't send it to everybody. And what was happening is we were getting people from IT, we were getting people that had nothing to do that could specify plantscapers, right? So what we did now, when we asked for those emails, we're a little bit more specific because we want the head designers to come, to the PMs to come, whatever. So we're a little bit more specific in who we should send it out, because I was getting people that could do nothing for our company and we're getting a free lunch, 2 hours of my time, a free plant, and I was kind of getting frustrated, so that was just ask, and just say it's not appropriate for everyone in your company or something like that. Who would the people that would be appropriate? And man, it was a game changer when we did that. And make the invitation really, really special to get people excited to come to your event.
That's such a great idea, Julie. Welcome. Hello. I didn't realize that was you. Hi.
Hi.
Has anybody ever done one virtually? We did a few of them during COVID before we started doing it in person. So you got to be really careful. And I don't see, as long as it's all your tone right at the beginning of it. I made people, because I was really insulted one time when somebody turned off, they didn't mute, but they turned up the video. And they were so loud talking to somebody else, obviously wasn't paying attention to a single thing, wanted the CEU. And it's like, after that, everybody in the room was so embarrassed because it was one of their colleagues. So I would say you want to make them show their face. So at least they're there. They might be typing, whatever they're doing. But I would say in order for you to get the CEU, and this is kind of legal, they have to attend the whole hour. Yeah. So it's so easy to cheat. Everybody's busy. Not that they'd want to disrespect us on purpose or anything, but they're just going to turn that on, mute me, mute you. So I wouldn't allow it, because we have to put our stamp that they completed that class, and we can't guarantee that, right now that the people that I don't see aren't sleeping or typing. What are you guys doing? What are you in your PJs still? It's the afternoon. Come on. I'm such a Zoom shamer, sorry. Before we move on, are there any other CEU quick tips, engage the audience, introduce yourself in like, hi, I'm Jan. Great, you're the first one here. Always the first one, give them a plant. Always. You always get you're the first one, you get the plant. The last one, you don't do anything to, no. Anything else that would help, warm up? Because, and again, a lot of people, it takes a special person not a special person, it takes a lot of guts to get in front of people to talk, right? It doesn't just happen overnight, but, it really impacts the business. I know that I've been doing it for a very long time. Chris, Julie, we've been doing a lot of these for a very long time, and because of the fact that we put the work in for so long, we see the rewards at the end. So now architects call us all the time. We're being hired as biophilic designers. They're paying for our design services now. And we're finally getting a reputation as interior scapers that we just, and we're getting paid for what we do. And we can't just give it away because we're not plant. I told somebody I'm mentoring that he has to stop being a plant whore. It worked. I said, you're not a plant prostitute because you'd be getting paid for it. So you're a plant whore. So you need to stop that right now. Fast forward a few years ago, I gave him a job that I needed to subcontract to him, and he gave me the pricing. I was like, oh, can you do anybody? He's like, no, Jen, you're not a plant whore. I'm not a plant whore anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I was just testing you. I was just testing.
One little tip, it's more gender specific, but I have social anxieties when I get in front of crowds and in front of people, and I've had to be in front of some pretty big crowds. And when I was younger, I used to drink an energy drink, and I called it my can of courage, but some kind of ritual that gives you self-confidence before you go into it. And then the other thing, imagine, even if they're complete strangers, every single person, I picture them as my best friend. I'm just trying to help my friend solve a problem. I'm trying to help show my friend something. So every single person in the room or on the other end of the phone or whatever it is, I always just associate them with a friend immediately. And I do something, it's something I call shooting the shit, but I talk to people in a way where I actively use a cuss word in a creative, positive way. But what that does, breaks the conversation down a little bit and humbles the conversation, and takes it one level down from a peak professional level. And then people relax a lot more. And then when they're relaxed, I'm relaxed. I'm just helping a friend. I'm just helping a bunch of friends out.
And having somebody out the audience, if you do stumble for some reason, all of a sudden you lose your place and you're like, and then you get nervous, you just hone in and you stare at a friend in the audience. Like I hone in a lot of times. It's like, Chris Mamundi, I'm looking at you right now. You hone in and then you get a smile. So it is really good for you to bring a colleague of yours, somebody from your team to go with you. And it really helps. And again, this could be for any type of talk. It's not necessarily a CEU. I'm about to do, the new specifying living walls one, and I have done that once, but twice. It takes practice to do some of these. And again, how many times have some of these things just don't slip off the tongue? Who has had problems? Not problems. We're plant people for the most part, right? And we're talking about parasympathetic nervous systems and sympathetic nervous systems and all of that. So you really do need to study and understand which one's which. And, when you're talking about that, and there's more and more science that I went to a Biophilic Leadership Summit this year, which I'll recommend next year to go to. It's outside of Atlanta. It's amazing. But I learned so much, the more science that's out there, and that's what we're trying to do with Green Plants, is to educate all of you about biophilia. It's gaining such momentum. You've been seeing the trends, all our companies, right, growing. It's starting in Boston. I don't know, raise your hand. It's starting to flatten a little bit. It was like last year, it's still up, but I don't know if in the economy, do you want to give me an idea? How's it going in New York? How's it going? Where else are we? No, we get a couple. Atlanta. How's Atlanta going these days?
We've been busy. I think I was just going to mention something about speaking before I forget.
Yep.
For people who haven't spoken a lot, I do think it's good. You can start with a very small group. and work your way up, just to have that opportunity to not feel like you got to go from 0 to 100. I think it's really helpful for people who it creates a lot of anxiety. It's not their natural space. For some of us, for me, it's very natural to go in front of an audience, but I know for other people, it's not. And so I do think you can just take a little bit, eat the elephant one bite at a time. So, but here it's great. And I was glad to hear you went to the Biophilic Summit. I have not been to that. And I've heard it's really, really good. And I do know Bill Browning, but there's a great group here. Atlanta's got a really good group of I think people who are hungry for this, a good community who get it. But I think the challenge I've found is once you start getting into the architects, the translation of how that works and it actually being implemented is a very different conversation. You have some of it, but that's a place that I think it can get a little bit lost. It's like something people want to talk about, but people who are practically implementing it and really having at the forefront of their mind for every single project or a lot of projects, I'm not sure about that. I've had a few things that have happened, but I do think there's a little bit of conversations about how it works from a big not exterior, but architectural perspective. But once we get down into the interior spaces, I'm not sure how many interior designers are practically doing it. So that's for me where I have some questions, but
that's like one of the good news is that a lot of the architects that I work with, that's at the forefront of their designs. So that's good news. So typically it'll start in like New York, and then Atlanta's a huge city, but the Boston architects that they're coming up. We're being hired to, like, say, from Moderna's headquarters to help design the craziest wallscaping thing you've ever heard. Like, they're asking us to just do a feasibility study. So the news is good that the trend is starting that way. I was just talking as far as the market goes, some of the smaller companies are or the JLLs of the world are starting to bid, which they haven't, it's just, the market's getting tough for the bigger cities. So we just have to identify, what markets are hot and just kind of and spread and diverse your portfolio. You can't rely on one without another. The other thing that we talked about for the CUs again is breathing just before, take a deep breath in and out before you start. And what the best way to practice with your staff. If you have never done one, do a CEU with your staff. So listen, buy you guys some lunch. You gotta listen to me for an hour, and that'll help. And then you go to a small group, and then you just keep and pretty soon you'll be speaking at conferences all over the world. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to go. Yes, we're going to go, and I'm going to show you the Biophilic presentation that we're working on potentially to share with Green Plants for Green Buildings as just it's a little different angle. Yes, I can do this. Is everybody ready? It's a lot of the same information, different pictures, and it's pretty. Do you like it? It's not going to say Cityscapes, obviously. We're going to rebrand it, but I would love to, and it's still a work in progress, but I feel, my personal opinion, I've done the economics biophilic design quite a few times. The living walls ones, those are the two hottest. So again, it's just the same thing, going through what biophilia is, what is biophilic design, a little bit of a more modern looking presentation, I feel. These are what I liked about this, and I worked with my marketing graphic designer, is like more bullet points. So you don't have to read the notes. I hate reading notes. I don't want to read the notes. I want to look at the slide, remember something, and talk about it. So just giving bullets of lower pulse rate by this, stress hormones are lower, your blood pressure is lowered, increased parasympathetic, all that fun stuff. And then why humanity has evolved and adapted, a lot of, like different ways of going about this. And it's, so why we put beyond the plants is important. It gives us credibility, right? We go in there and all we do is an angle of plants. We're here to sell you some plants. What's going to happen? Like anything in sales, their guard's going to go up. The plant lady's just selling me plants. That's not my end game here. I want to educate you on biophilic design. And it is about more than plants, and then we start talking about the nature in the space and analogs of the space, even though plants are the highest, give you the most increased response in, lowering stress and all that stuff, nature in the space, because natural elements are bio, live, philia, loving live. So this is where it's an opportunity to put some of your gallery pictures or some of your, pictures to green plants so we can implement some of these. Because again, this is a Cityscapes presentation, so it's mostly all of our pictures, but we want to include stuff from all around the world in this country. We want the best jobs in this presentation, because a lot of architects, they want to learn about it, but they want to be inspired too. They want to see some cool new projects.
Jan, a comment on that real quick, because I wanted to address that earlier. The gallery, it's a really big deal. Like you're saying, this is a visual business. You have to inspire people. You have to create that desire before you can even get, the technical aspects of it. Our gallery right now is mainly suppliers. And NewPro's one of them. We want to be drowned out. We're there because we're looking for more engagement. We have got Cityscapes and Natura up there, but we need all of you that are doing really cool projects to put your projects up here, your pictures up here. We want to show your stuff off. And it's just critical, and it'll help for the presentation stuff. But it's just right at the top of the website. It's right in the middle. It's called Gallery. You get a link to your website. You get a description of your project. You get to show off awesome pictures. But we need participation. We need people to say, you know what, today I'm going to collect some images or ask another employee to do it. And we're going to get this stuff over to the Green Plants for Green Buildings team so we can put this stuff up on the website. So I just wanted to put that pitch out there.
It is important, and it's such a visual business, and you want to inspire people to, because they're actually looking to us to see the latest and greatest. They go on Pinterest or they go just Googling biophilic design, and that's where they're getting a lot of this inspiration. And sometimes I've seen pictures of oh my gosh, I've seen this inspiration picture a million times, but they are getting more plant savvy. They are really kind of thinking out of the box more, and we should be ahead of them, giving them the ideas. They're coming to us and which is exciting. Like I said, it's hand in hand. So again, it's just, this presentation is a little different from the current because it is giving more specific plant jobs. Like this is the Mass Mutual job, but I would love to see more. I would love to see more pictures from, like I said, other interior scapers in the United States and across the country. I'll probably end up, when we redo this for green plants, we're going to probably use some of the award winners from the Biophilic Design Awards, that New Zealand job, and there's just a ton from that interior scape. Oh, there's one missing picture. See, it's still a work in progress over here. Yeah, so it talks about everything about biophilic design. Places of refuge, we're probably struggling to find a picture there. And then we're still, we're writing up some things about with green plants. Then we're going to talk about biophilic design in action. I think I know Jim Mumford, I sent him one of our biophilic design inspirations, kind of crazy out of the box stuff that I see in Europe. And he uses at the end of his presentation. So keep that in mind. If you have some really cool pictures, as long as you're giving these, people credit for, use it at the end of the presentation when you're saying, hey, if you haven't thought about this, let's think about this. So Mass Mutual, we recreated a forest. These are all just, so for me, we created living furniture. So we're going to obviously use that, but I'll probably keep it in the presentation because it's an interesting, different type of biophilic design. It's incorporating, function, form and function, nature, all in one, form and function. Oh, sorry. These aren't downloading. Sorry about that. There we go. Nope, they're not downloading. I'm having issues with my Wi-Fi. Sorry. Oh, there we go. So a lot of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, are doing wallscaping. That's a hot kind of fun thing. The plant cable picture didn't come out. Anybody do propagation station? Huh? Julie, you need to propose a propagation station. IBM is doing one, a whole wall of like test tubes, and that's recurring revenue. Somebody's got to go and change those, the water in the test tubes and all that. And it's engaging because guess what? All those event planners, all the HR, they want to engage people to come back to work. Oh my gosh, we're going to have a plant party. Who's doing plant parties? I know it's not huge revenue drivers, but again, it's your connection to, and what if you did a plant party and gave all the proceeds to a charity? That's going to connect you even more. They pick the charity, you do the plant party, you give the profit to the or whatever, $10 out of every $50 bowl we're going to give to your favorite charity. It creates that bond between you and your client. Okay, what's next? Next is I have technical difficulties. What else is new? And if that happens at one of your BOMA events, you better have a backup couple jokes. It happens all the time. Yeah, this is. Does anybody have any like?
Uh-oh.
Please stand by.
She's talking about technical problems.
I know. Jinxed herself.
It's just demonstrating what could happen at a presentation.
We'll get her back in just a second.
So can I ask a question? Is this what's coming? Is that what, this is a new CEU presentation I missed at the beginning. Is this what's up and coming?
It's a potential new one that maybe all of us would get. It's not necessarily credentialed. I assume that was Julie talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Jan, you're on mute. I think she's trying to answer the question. So potential, does that mean we don't know?
Yeah, I mean, what we're going to do is I wanted to present it a couple times to the board to see what the thoughts are. To you all, getting any feedback. I'm almost done. I can share screen again. And then what we do is we send it to AIA and USGBC, and then they credential it. It's highly unlikely it wouldn't be credentialed because, it's a good presentation. If it ever worked, I should have downloaded it first. So let me just go back to it real quick to see if I can get it going.
And Jan, do you, or anyone who does these CEU, do you find you get more of an audience when you do an accredited one? Or do you get more of an audience when you just talk about plantscaping in general? Do we have a census on that?
I never do non-accredited ones.
Okay.
I always do. So just so everybody should know, but at the end of I think it has to be at least an hour or 45 minutes. You have to do the certain amount of time to get their CEU accredited, right? They have to be their president. You get to do a dog and pony show about your company at the end. I used to do a lot more, and I'd throw some slides on there. So that's where you want to throw some of your best work on there. Say, this is what we can do. We can do living walls, moss walls, blah, blah, blah. But I always do CEUs. I don't have enough time to do other ones. And I think a lot of people, you're going to get more people, especially they need those points. So unfortunately, this isn't downloading. Oh, the living columns. I was going to excite you all. Nope, it's not working. So I'm going to stop sharing, but I can bring up another PowerPoint. So, so if you were, so how many people in the room have done like the economics of biophilia or the well-fit building? How many? 1, 2, 3. Nate, Madeline? She's giving us the emoji. Who wants to do, who's accredited? Who wants to be accredited? Do you want me to help you? Him. You're a good speaker, I can tell. We need to get you credit. What's stopping you? Let's do it. We need to unmute. You can unmute. Does anybody, so Jennifer, have you ever done any presentations? Are you any desire to do that, to get in front of some architects?
I have done a couple with architects, but I did the not the biophilic one. I did the authentically green interiors.
Oh, that was a while ago. Yeah, so the updated, so how'd you feel about that one? I mean, it's still a good one. We're trying to update them and get them kind of more current with the biophilic. So would you consider doing the, you know, the newest ones or?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, well, we can help you with that. So what I was gonna do, is there any other questions about green plants for green buildings that we can help with, or? No? Yes? Positive? No? Did I die again?
I have a question. I'm always on mute.
No, you're good.
Christian, you just spoke at the BOMA huge conference, which thank you so much for doing that, and your participation is amazing. What can we do to follow up on that opportunity? That's a great opportunity for interior-scapers to kind of follow that conversation. So, because we all have local chapters, so kind of share with us maybe some ideas on how we can follow up.
So what might be good is I could, maybe Jen, you can help me with this just because I need somebody to hold me accountable to getting it done. Is that I can share the presentation I did, Erica and I's presentation, and actually, I mean, I can pull it up right now. We'll see if it works. So that might be a really good idea. I know that we're going to look forward to going back every year. I mean, but giving different speakers. Let's see, where's the BOMA presentation? Do you see my screen? I would just say, hey, Green Plants, you know, did this. This is the presentation. Even if maybe I created a PDF of it, I could ask Erica Weeks, the architect, if we could share hers. Wow, do you think I have enough canvas? I think it's because it's in PowerPoint. Sorry, it's in PowerPoint. So I'll send it to you. I mean, it's gonna give you you know, what's going to attract people coming back. Actually, it's not a bad idea for me to share, because some of the ideas that we presented are the ones we just talked about. All right, here it is. Effective use of biophilic. Let's cultivate. I do too many presentations, everybody. Oh, found it. Here we go. Share screen. I'm going to be on TV in 16 minutes. I'm on the news tonight.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's 5 for Good, Channel 5. It's the news, and it is just about the plant truck and I don't know. I'll film it. You'll see it online. Should be quite funny. Okay. So this is what we presented. Can everybody see it? So, oh, this is a great experience. Okay. Immersion rooms. Before I leave this conversation, Greenery NYC just did one on there. I mean, they didn't do the whole thing, but an architect designed it and they planted it. And I'm so upset because I was like, I've had this idea forever. And I saw it at the Biophilic Design Summit, where hospitals are doing unplug rooms, immersion rooms, respite rooms. So what I did at Cultivate, I brought a bunch of aromatherapy rollers. Okay. I rolled it on everybody's, you know, hands. The smell. I shut the lights off. Ready? I did this to the whole room at BOMA. I'm not joking. I made them put them on aromatherapy. I I didn't get to shut the lights off. And then I did this. What? What I did, it messed up. Now, was that cool or what? So at the beginning of my presentation these days, I've been giving him the feel like, how do you feel? Are you relaxed? Are you rejuvenated? Inspired? Do you need some coffee? You know, so you get a little laugh. So this is how I led into, let's talk about biophilic design. Why is it beneficial? How is it applied in the tropical plant business? Again, what is biophilia? But a couple of the things for why should BOMA, why should care about biophilic design for their tenants? So you got to explain what it is. We reference the 14 patterns. We go over quickly. Went over quickly what they were. And then we went to examples, you know, some new trendier things. Like this is in a current lobby that we just installed, kind of these fun things that they're designing, and we're incorporating plants. And we're talking about specifics about inviting relaxation. We talked about the nature of wood, which is Bill Browning's new presentation I saw at the Biophilic design. So you know that I learned something. You see a piece of metal, see that piece of metal, and you see the wood, right? Do you know that they can have the same exact surface temperature, but if you feel the wood, it feels warmer than the metal, but they're the same surface temperature because wood, because metal takes the heat from you and wood insulates. So it's kind of cool the more I learn about biophilic design and all that, and that it really interests me. I mean, a lot of you might already know that. I didn't really know that. And that's why people feel more comfortable with wood around or warmer tones mimicking nature. So again, I talked about the health benefits, the broader social impacts, design and horticulture. Is this, oh, this is cultivate. What am I doing? Sorry. So this is what I did to talk about what you should be doing for your own people, creating spaces for your own. It doesn't have to be this glorious biophilic design showroom, but you could do little areas of respite for your own employees. I say, we gave examples of, I think, Julie, did you send some pictures? I know I did growing green. This is kind of cool. I told you I'd give you a couple tips. When people walk in my office, I have this new motion censored audio that has bird chirping. Write it down. You can get it on Amazon. So you walk in the room and then you have birds chirping. It's awesome. You know what's a really good tip before we unplug here? Always bring your favorite books. I think it's really cool. People love audiobooks or books. You know, there's just a few. These are my all-time favorite. Well, one of my favorites is the Nature Fix. My new favorite, the Biophilia Effect. Unfortunately, Nate just said I was like, why don't we get Florence Williams to speak on our behalf, right? For green plants, or get Clemens Arvey, but he just said that he passed away. Young man, Clement, it's so sad. And I'm like, okay, guess, you know, we can't get him to speak, but anyway, so what we're trying to do with Green Plants is not just to have me speak or, you know, other people in our industry speak, but we're going to, you know, the money we're going to put toward hiring professional speakers that go internationally and nationally, and their name is well known because it gives credibility to everything, to the association, to what biophilic design is and all that. So these are just examples of the evolution of a showroom to where it was to what it is now. I don't want it. There are the columns. Who's doing columns? Anybody? There's that live mesh wall. I have a new plant that we've been testing for the last year, European olive. They're actually doing okay. Anybody using those? They're actually okay on the interior scape world. Little tip. They're not that bad. Anybody use them? I don't see anybody using them. You test them. They're not bad.
I have one.
Yeah, they're not bad. The rest of this you all know. Oh, there's growing greens. See, they have a nice little showroom. It gives examples of, they have people come in and show their work. Very bright colored and fun, and they do plant parties there. There's my favorite guys in Utah. Cactus and Tropicals. They have a garden center and a plantscaping place. And that's it. These are all things you've seen. Escape. Stop share. So does anybody have any comments, questions? again, we'd love feedback from all of you to find out how we can make things better. Anything? Did you like this conversation?
I thought
Yep.
this was great. I think we should do it more frequently.
Yeah, I'll do it. And Mark, did you have a question? Here's Boma, I found it. I'll just,
I was just wondering about the living furniture you mentioned. Did you all design that or
yes, yes.
the furniture itself?
Yeah, so we're doing, it's still an infant business. It's toddler now. It started just before COVID. Yeah. So we've been R&Ding it. I've been shipping it to Fidelities across the country, and I'll like give I'll work with a colleague who in the area. I did ship one that was preserved moss and it wasn't living, but it was easier because what happened to one in New York's North Carolina is that another company, they didn't go with the company that I trusted, Oasis, and said, in Washington, D.C., they went with one of the big guys down there, and they didn't want to pick up the glass.
Yeah.
So they let it die.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I think they replaced it. So listen, let me get the kinks out. I'm not saying that I'll wholesale it. I could just, sell it for, a little bit higher. I'd love to say, it's expensive, but listen to this. This is why everybody should have went to Cultivate. I found 3D printers at Cultivate, at one 3D printer, and I found another 3D printer. I can have them print, they're printing out of recycled plastic. There's one company in New Jersey, they're making plant pots out of recycled plastic. And they're cool. They're called 3D Forms, I think. And then Nate just told me another one, and they're doing some out of cement somewhere else. So 3D printing is a real cool thing to think about, and it's made in the United States. So, everybody thinks that Cultivate is it was one of the best shows. I was like, wow, I learned so much, and the speakers were really, really good. So this was Erica's stuff. Erica's was industry references. She talked a lot about, again, I can share this, what we presented at BOMA. Maybe we can, Miss Sarah, can you get it on the website so everybody can watch it as long as I get it, permission from Erica? I don't think it's a big problem. So she talks about a lot about the well building standard. We each had a half an hour each. She talked about, I'm going to be on TV. My kids are like, come on, Mom, let's watch this. So what do you, Miss Sarah, do you think we can get this on the website?
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Yeah, she talked about some different things, which was nice because it wasn't all the same, natural patterns and processes. She took a lot from Terrapin. She gave some of the examples of, oh my gosh, phone is blowing up. And then I went into mine, the use of Biophilic design for tenant retention. This is not having phone loading. Yeah, it just went, it goes over Biophilic design, and I have to shut my phone off, ignore. A lot of the same pictures you've kind of seen, but it does give some other things like moss walls. And we actually did kind of case studies. One Financial was a case study on Prospect and Refuge are inspiring design, organic forms, textures. We talked about provoking a sense of awe in innovative ways. So here again, I know the picture's not coming up, but it shows that the architect proposed this, not us. I didn't say, let's put the living wall up the escalator. Challenging, yes. Is it successful? Yes. The other side was too dark, so we put a moss wall on the other side, which is pretty cool. Where's the other side? This picture right here. Maybe not. There it is. See this on the right side here? So, the nice thing about moss is that you can put it anywhere. Then I gave the example we call the New Zealand company, which is like step up your plant game, United States. Look at this. Tom, when are you going to do this? Come on. I challenge you all. So unless there's anything else, I think it'd be good. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be quarterly. I can bring, like, we have an executive team meeting for the board of directors executive team every other week. And then we have a board meeting every quarter. So I'll bring it up at the next executive, talking about a monthly networking. That doesn't mean you have to go every month, but it's just kind of a nice, hey, is there anything to chat about? It could be a half an hour. It's just a way to network and get some ideas and share stories and share pains. Like, why did that company cancel? Oh, they never cancel us. What am I talking about? We fired them. Which we do. Who fires people? Don't take any, you know what, from people. Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming. We are working a lot on trying to make, use the supporter money in the best way possible. We work hard to get that word out and communicate. You know what's really exciting news? Ooh, my daughter is now the director of marketing of Cityscapes. Yay, she is amazing, I have to say. I made volunteer to be on the marketing and communications for Green Pleasant Green Building. We have a 23-year-old. We got some new blood, not this 60-year-old. Yes, it's my birthday. My address is to send me any presents. Black balloons, Geritol. Anyway, yeah, Sam's going to join. Jeremy is excited, aren't you, Jeremy? Unless he's gone. He's gone. Yeah, so we're all excited. Nate, you excited? Yeah, are you on that committee?
No.
He's on the ed committee. Anybody want to join a committee? Email me, Mastera or Jen, because we need your help. The more brilliant minds like you all, the better. So that's it. Thank you for your support. Go out there and green up the world, okay?
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, bye.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Great to see you. Ciao, ciao.